Hey, welcome to Sports Unfolded, episode 4. Back in studio, so
Yes.
excited about that.
Finally, everybody showed up to work.
Yeah, it must be nice to have vacations,
Yeah,
We-
well,
we-
I don't get those.
Yeah, we got to keep working. That's how that works. But got a really special show today. Really excited about it. So let's start off with that leadoff story that just broke today. The New England Patriots and Cam Newton have agreed to a one-year deal worth $14 million. So the funny thing is, we talked about this a few weeks ago, and we discussed Cam Newton and how much I would pay for Cam Newton. And Bill Belichick actually did me a solid because the contract is actually only worth 3.5 guaranteed. So you're looking at Cam Newton for 3.5. There's a ton of incentives based on the fact if they make the playoffs or if he gets any player awards.
Or if he starts.
If how many games he starts. So there's a lot out there. I mean, last year he threw for 2,600 yards, 8 touchdowns, 10 picks. But he did rush for 592 yards, 12 touchdowns. So if you combine the two, 20 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Team did go 7-9. But you got to look at the fact that, again, it's still a reasonable contract where he can clearly Bill could clearly, get another quarterback if needed. Obviously, probably looking in the draft, but if one of these other free agent quarterbacks become available and he's interested.
Jimmy.
And again, Jimmy G is an option. And we talked about Jimmy G, and I think I agree with you that if Jimmy G is the option, Cam Newton's a solid backup.
Right, because they might end up playing 8 games each.
Yeah. So, I mean, realistically, how great would that be? You keep Cam, who knows the system, possibly get Jimmy G. Now, at this point, I'd feel a little more comfortable about it.
I wouldn't mind that, because if I have Jimmy G and he started, and if something goes wrong, then you have Cam as a backup. And I can live with that. I can't live with going into the season where you have Cam as your quarterback, and if they don't improve any of the positions that they need help in receiving, and you're just looking at another 7-9 season. And
yeah, so I think we've already seen they made the trade for Brown, so we got Brown back in the fold.
I do like that.
They re-signed Bethel, who's one of our top special teams players.
Yes,
so again, I think Bill's starting to make some moves. I think he realizes that last season was not going to be accepted by the New England Patriot fans. So I expect him to make some moves in free agency. The question is,
to be honest, Eric, I don't think it's acceptable for him.
Yeah,
because now he's got a little.
Yeah, there's somebody
fire under his butt right now.
Somebody was behind him saying, "Hey." So, little there. Do apologize. So we are live. So again, we may have some hiccups. We do apologize. We will continue to go. So basically, yeah, I think that Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl definitely is sparking a little more fire under Bill to say, hey, look, I can't accept going 7-9 and not making the playoffs. Back in the old days, it was Super Bowl or bust. I think it's playoff or bust this year for Bill. I think it has to happen.
We again mentioned these names keep coming up. Van Noy. Like, I really truly believe that he's going to try to sign him. If he's not going to sign him, he's going after another linebacker.
Yes.
There's
he has
Butler.
To.
You had mentioned Butler,
which we're going to discuss later in the show.
Yeah. So there are a lot of options on the table with a lot of money to be spent. Yeah. So it's the question of what value are you going to get, and making that work in players that he possibly has already coached.
And think about this. If you're going to bring Cam Newton in, and you know that the struggles in the passing game last season were probably more because of the talent you had surrounding him. If you're going to bring him back, how much importance do you think he's got to put on those positions? Because he's going to look kind of foolish if he brings Cam back in the same receiving core. Oh. What was the point of that? We already saw what that can do. He needs to upgrade the tight end position. He needs to upgrade the wide receiver position. We did post a poll on Sports Unfolded. If you have a chance to take a look, should the New England Patriots trade N'Keal Harry? That's been discussed. Would you trade him for any pick possible, or would you trade him for, only a high pick, seeing that he was a number 1 pick? So again, I think Bill's got a lot of questions on that offensive side of the ball that he needs to address, and he needs to address quickly, because a lot of these players are going to come off the board fast. Free agency starts next week.
Yes, it's going to be a busy, busy week. So, and I mean, I'm going to be like watching every player fall wherever they go, and it's of a great importance for the Patriots to do something, because fans will not go to the games if they're going to go 7-9 again.
Yeah, and exactly, fans will be back in the stands, so I think that's going to put some pressure on them too.
Oh yeah,
So
they're going to hear those
the
boos
Boo
this
Birds,
time.
yeah, they'll be out in full force. So
Yeah.
how important is that going to be? Really, really good conversation about Cam. And I just want to note that I was correct when I said Cam Newton coming back to the Patriots.
Yeah, it's not
The number one option right now.
No, but see, that was not, what was going to happen. That was what we would want to happen.
So in our pick and roll, I do state that Cam Newton coming back to the Patriots was the best option. Bill seems to agree.
No, it's not the best option.
Bill,
it's by far not the best option.
And I just want to state for how big is Sports Unfolded that I could have the impact to have Bill Belichick not sign Cam for more than $5 million. I said that's the top. That's high. $5 million, 3.5 guaranteed, 14 million overall. Cam ain't seeing that because I don't think he's going to start again all 16 games, and they may not make the playoffs. And I don't think he's getting any player awards. So guess what? 3.5 million. Bill, he took my advice. Great job by Sports Unfolded. You got to give me credit on that one.
No, because some of the other options may still be there.
We'll have to see how it all plays out. But we are going to go live to if Kel, my producer, do we have a special interview today? Okay, we're having some technical difficulties. We'll wait on that. We'll go to the next topic, but we were planning on, and hopefully at some point tonight, we will interview the GM of the Providence Pirates, who are a professional basketball team here in Providence, Rhode Island, Paul Rogers. So we'll look at what we can do. Hopefully we can get some of that technical difficulties worked out. All right, so let's move on to the NBA. And let's discuss the All-Star game. I know, Ron, you had discussed you were not going to watch the All-Star game. I'm not sure if that actually happened or not.
I saw some highlights.
All right.
I refuse to watch that. That's just appalling. Well, first of all, the whole thing with picking teams, I can almost understand that. It sucks, but I can almost understand that. But why are you going to have Kevin Durant pick the team when he's not even playing? So that loses a player for, that team.
I think what they try to do is they try to create like a fantasy
and
basketball,
I get that. But
atmosphere.
Have somebody that's playing do the picking.
I get
because
it.
Because they lose a player there.
It's Team Durant. Who are you going to have pick for Team Durant?
No, then you have team somebody else.
Team somebody else.
I
mean, come on. Listen, team. It didn't matter because Team LeBron actually smoked Team Durant 170 to 150.
Yeah.
Giannis Antetokounmpo was the MVP, 35 points, 16 for 16 shooting. Even when he was throwing up some threes, we're like, no, don't do it. And he still made it. So, I mean, overall, I think the stars came out. Steph Curry and Damian Lillard, with some of their 3-point displays, they kept challenging each other, taking shots from half court. I think it was just a fun overall game. I think it made, listen, when they first started this, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid obviously couldn't play due to the COVID, restrictions.
Yeah.
And that was some of our concern. They pulled it off without a hitch. Otherwise, I think that it's something the fans needed to see. It's something enjoyable where you could just watch a basketball game, see some fun, and not, have to worry about some of the other things like what place are they in, where they finish in, who are they going to trade for. It was just a fun overall game to me.
So Tatum had 21 points.
Tatum, 21, 9 for 16 shooting, 33 from 3-point. Jaylen Brown actually impressed me. He performed a little better at 22 points, but 8 from 12 shooting, 71% from the 3-point line. To me, he looked more like an all-star than Jason Tatum did in that game. And I just feel like we're still at that point where they're going to have to trade one of them. It's coming. And I'm starting to really side with Jaylen Brown as being a better fit for the Boston Celtics going forward.
I'd much rather
than Jason Tatum.
Look, when I see Jason Tatum play, he kind of scares me the way he dribbles. It almost looks like he has no control where the ball is going.
He's very sloppy.
But with Brown, like when he has the ball, I feel confident that the Celtics will score. Somehow, some way, they will score. That's the way I feel. And to be honest with you, with where Blake went, it doesn't even matter. So right now, I would trade one of them for a bunch of pieces because you're not winning. You're not going to the championship because it's going to be Brooklyn.
Yeah. So the interesting thing, and I was thinking about this recently, we keep talking about how we should have them make a trade. And I would say this. Why even make a trade at this point? If I'm the Boston Celtics, I hold on to that trade exemption and I don't make a move until the offseason because I don't feel like they're going to get a piece that puts them ahead of the Brooklyn Nets.
No.
They don't get a piece that puts them ahead of Milwaukee.
No.
Honestly, Giannis Antetokounmpo is becoming a superstar. Not that he wasn't already, but you can see that there's a determination in him.
He's a good ball player.
So
I think he's top 3 in the league.
Yeah, and I would definitely say if not in the top 3, he's in the top 5 without a doubt. And you've got to start to say, why get a piece now that is only a part-time rental that honestly can't help you for an entire season? They're going to need some chemistry. They're going to have to find some kind of player that's actually going to put them over the top. But how do you sit there and say that? At this point, so Tim has chimed in. Tim, one of our big fans, has chimed in and said he wouldn't trade Tatum. But you've got to start to look at the amount of pieces they probably could get. And if Danny's smart, there's got to be at some point where the two of them just don't exist. We've talked about Brad Stevens. We talked about Danny Ainge. We talked about the fact that they should possibly go. But you think about the players they've surrounded these two guys with, and somehow they still can't make it work. One of them is probably the scapegoat in this, and I think it's Jason Tatum.
I think you're right, and like I said, I feel more confident in Brown than I do Tatum. Tatum scares me when he's dribbling the ball around. I'm sorry, like I don't deny that he's good. I don't deny that. Like somehow, some way, he puts up his points, but it's still scary.
Yeah, and
like he doesn't hit clutch shots.
He's like we said, he's sloppy. I think he ends up putting in too much effort on shooting 3-pointers and not. I mean, he has the ability to drive to the hole. I think he's
drive the lane, get down low, get it, lay it up, draw the fouls.
Yeah. And I've seen him probably complain more than actually drive to the lane. So every time he gets a little slap or a little nudge, he's looking at the refs. Like, stay out of that. Become a better ball player. But I think he was inspired. Yeah, he was inspired by Kobe Bryant, and you can see it with the shot selection sometimes that he just feels like he can do more than anybody else on the court. And in the All-Star game, as I was watching him, he didn't impress me. I felt much more comfortable with Brown. I thought Jaylen Brown looked like an All-Star, performed like an All-Star. So Cal chimed in with he's a Tatum fan, which, I mean, again, I'm not saying that I'd like to see him go, but if he doesn't take that next step in that next leadership role, we've got to start to look at it.
I see Tatum as a solid 3.
Wow. I don't know about that one. I don't know if I can agree with you on that.
I'm talking about
small forward.
No. I mean, as a third guy on the team.
Okay. I don't know if I agree with that.
I'm just looking at it this way because I think if you get that one piece, whether he's better than Brown or second to Brown, I think Tatum is good to round out a three player. I almost said threesome, but
yeah, probably. Yeah, we are a family friendly show, so let's look at it this way. Jason Tatum is a solid number 2. He is. I think the problem is they're both number 2s. And neither one of them can become the number 1 guy, and that's what's hurting them. Is because I think they're feeding off each other versus one of them just taking ownership and saying, "I'm the leader, I'm the number 1 option, I'm the number 1 guy."
See, I don't see Tatum as a number 2 because he's not taking big shots at the time that we need, or burying them, I should say. He's not burying those big shots, and to be a solid number 2, and we all know we go back to Scottie Pippen. That's a guy that can take the shot.
Yeah.
And he can bury it. Okay. I don't see Tatum as that. That's why I say he's a number 3.
Yeah, I think he's got to change his approach, like we talked about. Drive to the hole. Start to take some of those shots. Start to make sure.
Yeah,
Again, he's bigger than most of the threes that are going to play him or twos that are going to play him. So if they put him at shooting guard, small forward, even power forward, I mean, he's 6'10". How can you not say he has the size to compete down low with these guys? So he needs to start to change his game if he's going to want to be successful and want to continue to grow as a player. I think that's just my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know, but they're not going anywhere this year.
No, again, they're bordering 500 again. I think 19-18 lost to Brooklyn last night, who we're going to talk about now. So great segue. Outstanding. So the Brooklyn Nets have signed Blake Griffin to a 1-year deal. It was for roughly $5.9 million.
This is just ridiculous. Like, why play the rest of the season?
So again, here's the typical NBA, as we discussed last week, Tom Brady effect as well in the NFL. That's starting to happen. We're going to go where we want to play, where we feel comfortable, where it gives us the best chance to win a championship. It's not about my stats anymore. It's not about my, pride in saying I want to go to a ball club and actually make them better and possibly get them to a championship. It's like, well, guess what? They're pretty much locked in to be in the NBA Finals. I'll go there because that's the easiest ride I have to possibly winning a ring.
I mean, I pretty much clinched it in my book. Who's going to be able to beat them?
Yep. So you think about it. He was with LA, couldn't do it there. And they had Chris Paul. They had a solid team back in that DeAndre Jordan. Like that team was stacked. And then he went to Detroit, and that team was just horrible. And now, you know what? He says, okay, well, my best shot at ever winning anything is going with, 3 Hall of Famers. Do I think he's going to contribute? Why not? But, I mean, can you not make it easier?
Contribute.
So how do we not honestly start to change this? Because again, we gotta start to say, as a league, the commission has got to look at this and say, how do we stop this? Again, there's a team like Boston who we discussed, who really Blake Griffin, if he joined that team, probably gets them close to a championship. And yet somehow he goes with the easy ride. And I just feel like there's got to be a better way around that.
Until the league stops this, it's not going to change. And players will just organize and put a championship somewhere that they want to go.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrible.
That's just what it's doing.
And I guess LaMarcus Aldridge is actually another player that is up for bid. And it's a possibility he's going to Brooklyn as well. So, I mean, it's just getting to the point where we've got to stop. The NBA has to stop this. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I hope that whoever's listening out there, if you're a fan of this kind of basketball,
like the championship's going to be what? It's going to be Brooklyn and Lakers.
Yeah, LA's going to pull off a move before the trade deadline and get themselves another player, and
exactly.
And it's going to be a guy who's well underpaid, but because he wants to try to win a championship, is going there.
Right.
So I guess if you're going to Vegas anytime soon, I would say put all your money on Brooklyn making the NBA Finals. So. Really good discussion there on Blake Griffin and the Brooklyn Nets. But we are going to be joined live now by Paul Rogers, the GM of the Providence Pirates. We figured out that technical difficulty. So if Kel, our producer here, can get Paul on the line, that'd be outstanding. And we can welcome Paul to Sports Unfolded.
Hopefully.
And we're going live.
Well, we are live.
Paul Rogers, we are live. That is true. Paul, how are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Great. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's a privilege, and I'm looking forward to talking about our team. Can't hear. I can't hear you.
Kel, if you put them out.
All right. How about now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. We apologize for that. We are a new show, so we're working out some of those technical difficulties.
We're a new team. We're working on bugs too, so it's okay.
There you go. It's outstanding. So, Paul, can you tell us the fans a little bit about yourself? How you became the the GM of the Providence Pirates, and then obviously some of your basketball background.
Okay. With respect to being named the general manager, I go back with our owner, Sujan Fenerkey, about 20 years. We've been involved together. Actually, I coached against him in college. Then I got to be on the same bench with him in college, and then our basketball paths kept crossing. He went out to Denver, all over the country. I stayed here, and then when he came back over here a few years ago, like in the last year, he had this idea of starting a franchise in Rhode Island, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, if I could help you in any way, I'd be happy to." And he said, "Well, I would like to make you my first general manager." So there you go. So that's how that happened. And it's an awesome opportunity, obviously. And then with respect to me, I born and raised in Fall River, moved to Florida for a few years in the middle of my adolescence. But I was telling Ron, I'm a proud graduate of Somerset High School, not Somerset, but
here we go.
Somerset High School, class of '86, and a lot of coaching influence went out of being a part of that high school with Hall of Famer, rest in peace, Jim Sullivan, one of the best high school baseball coaches ever. Coach Jerry Remy, Coach Greg Gagne. His reach goes very far back into Somerset lore. He was also a phenomenal football coach. But so I played there, 3 sports. I went to Bunker Hill Community College, did 2 years there, and then I finished my career at Bridgewater State College. And then since then, I've been coaching at the college level, coaching at the high school level. I'm the head coach at Snowden International High School. It's a very small Boston public school on Newbury Street. I'm actually there now. We're located right by the marathon finish line. Been doing that for the last 10 years.
Wow, outstanding. But long career, so I'm sure you're going to do a great job over there.
Appreciate that.
What exactly is the ABA? Is that an extension of the former ABA? Is this a new league that has been formed, or is this basically extension from back in the 70s when the ABA was?
Right.
Dr. J came out and
yeah, exactly. So that's how it's been going since then. Some of the teams got absorbed by the NBA, the rest of them didn't, and it's been around since the '70s. There's 180 teams nationally. A ton in California, a lot in the deep South where they didn't have a lot of pro teams. Up until the last 20 years. So we have probably about 24 in our region in the Northeast. It goes all the way up to Maine, all the way down to Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania. And, obviously this year because of COVID, we couldn't compete in a full season, but we wanted to put a product out on the floor that Rhode Island would be proud of and play some exhibition games. And that's what we're in the middle of right now.
Great. What can you tell us about the coach, Mark Gaffney?
I can tell you a lot. I mean, Mark Gaffney, teammate. Well, he's a Dartmouth High. He's a Dartmouth High graduate. He played. We were teammates at Bridgewater State. He was a point guard on our team, and his knowledge is very vast. I mean, he was on Skip Prosser's bench at Xavier. He coached James Posey, David West, guys like that. He had some high school experience, but for the last probably 15 years, he's been Division III assistant coach and looking for an opportunity as a head coach. And we presented one. It was a good fit for us. He shared our vision is in regard to what we wanted. And we're very fortunate to have Coach Gaffney.
Great. How do you guys acquire the players? So is it a draft? Is it tryouts? How does the team get formed?
So every team's really, really different. I know that there was a team called, I guess I didn't know this, but the Rhode Island Sky Chiefs, maybe like 8 or 9 years ago. And basically their owner was getting guys from all over the country. He had guys from California, guys from New York. For us, we're regional. We want a regional representation. So all of our guys, we have one guy from Connecticut, but he's graduating from Rick. Everybody else is from Rhode Island or Massachusetts, Southeastern Mass. I think the farthest up we go is maybe Brockton. But that's what we're looking for. So in regards to, we really just, to get talent, we actually had a couple of combines. And then as soon as I was hired as the general manager, I started, giving calls to my connections, and we were able to get several players that are high caliber players just from conversations in and around, the state of Rhode Island and the state of Mass. And basically it was just an open tryout. And we'll definitely have that again next year. We're looking to like expand it. COVID really wiped us out for me even starting our regular season this current year. So we had a combine in October, and then with all the pauses and activities in Rhode Island, we couldn't have our second one until January, right up against the time frame that we were trying to roll out an exhibition season. But we got it done. We picked 14 really solid guys, and we're real happy with those guys.
So do you remember who your number one pick was? Or
if I had a number one pick, if it was a draft, I don't know if I could put all 14 of those guys out there, but I could say that, guys like Tyree Robinson from Durfee High School, he played junior college and played at Youngstown State. And he's a high motor guy, crazy athletic ability. And he looks like he'll have the opportunity to play for some money next season. But guys like him, guys like Savon Houston from Brockton, Cam Menifee from Rhode Island College, there's 14 of them, but they all have different attributes. Ant Parker from Taunton High School and Bristol Community College, Nakia Hendricks, he played for a Division II NAI school out in the western part of the country. But we have, I'd say of the 14 guys, we probably have about 5, 6 maybe that we might not have that much longer. They look to trend in the direction of just needing an opportunity and getting some pro game film. And with our connections in Europe, I think that they have a really good chance of playing professionally next year. Included in that mix is Dexter Thompson, Avery King. We got some really good guys. We're really lucky.
Good. That's great to hear. Where are the Providence Pirates playing their home games this? So
we have 2 home games. We'll play at Johnston Rec. None of the schools were available for rentals or anything like that, so we had to do the best we could this year. Johnston Rec's been very, very good for us. Very good to us for practices, combines, media night, all that. They've been great with us, and we're going to continue that relationship for the rest of this season.
Great. What are your expectations for your team? Obviously, going into the exhibition that carries into the regular season that hopefully makes you better.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for us, it was a matter of getting a team and then starting our exhibition season and seeing what we have. I mean, some guys will actually, like I said, some guys have that already. We've already had conversations internationally with some of our connections about some of the guys that we have now and going overseas. But, the bulk of the rest of the guys will probably be with us next year, and we'll build on that team and we'll build on like the talent level. Still be an open tryout. Everybody that made this team will obviously have some preferential treatment when it comes to the combine. But, every year it's a new team. Nobody's under, a contract where they're getting paid, where, we have them for 3 years. Everything's a 1-year deal. And if they're not being professional, that 1-year deal will be cut really short, because our whole mantra is professionalism. Our whole vision is helping guys regionally get to that international look. We have a lot of talent in Southeastern Mass and Rhode Island, and I would say that this is a very under-scouted area in terms of basketball talent. So a lot of our guys, they probably could have played high major or mid-major, but at the end of the day, it didn't work out because they didn't get the looks they needed. Now we're giving them the platform to have those looks to try to play for money, because they definitely have the talent.
No, well, we're really excited to see this team on the court. Hopefully we do some more interviews later on at some point. Love to talk to Mark Gaffney at some point too, if you can make that happen. But really appreciate your time tonight joining Sports Unfolded. It's been great hearing from you. I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there in the Rhode Island area that didn't even know about this team. So hopefully we can get you some exposure, and they start to check out the talent that you guys produced and put on that court.
Absolutely. Hey, we appreciate the opportunity to be with you guys tonight, and we can certainly make that happen. We would love to build a connection with you guys as a preferred partner. So definitely, thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Paul. That's Paul Rogers, the GM of the Providence Pirates, joining us live on Sports Unfolded tonight. Thank you, Paul.
All right. Take care, guys. Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you. So great interview there, Paul Rogers from the Providence Pirates, the GM. Really excited about to see this team on the court. Hopefully we get some more information out there so we can watch and honestly be able to see, what they're able to produce on that. But it's exciting to have a team in Rhode Island.
That was well done, Eric. That was just what everybody needed to know about the team right now. As he said, it is exhibition time right now because they couldn't get really a season going.
Good old COVID.
But next year.
Now, really excited,
count.
right? This fall, I believe. So,
yes.
So, we'll keep an eye out for any information we could get to the fans. So if you are interested in any information about the Providence Pirates, obviously you can look them up on their website, but you can also, send us your questions on Sports Unfolded. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter at Sports Unfolded, Rhode Island Broadcasting. You can ask us on Rhode Island Broadcasting as well while we're doing the show. Any questions you do have, our number one fan, Tim, appreciate him joining us as always. But we've had a really good conversation there, and so excited about that. So let's move on to the pick and roll.
Pick and roll.
Pick and
Again,
roll.
My favorite segment.
Favorite segment, even though you lose them every time.
I don't lose anything.
But Jimmy G. So pick and roll tonight, as you are joining us live on Sports Unfolded here at Rhode Island Broadcasting, is which player who has signed currently with the team will be most successful in 2021. We got the 4 players.
Now, when you say most successful, is that player success or team success?
You can combination of both if that's how you want to pick it. I would say probably more player than team, but overall, I mean, again, if it factors into how you want to rank them, I'm okay with that because I feel like I'm going to win this regardless. So don't worry about it. But the 4 players are J.J. Watt, Ben Roethlisberger, Dak Prescott, and recently signed Cam Newton. So, Ron, I will let you take it away. You've got the first 4.
Okay.
4-1.
So, number 4, I put Ben Roethlisberger. I put him there because I don't think he's going to make the full season. I think he's getting more and more brittle every year. And I don't recall the last time he played a full season. Did he play a full season last year?
I believe it's been one. No, he did not.
No, of course. Why should I even have doubted myself? I also don't see Pittsburgh really making playoffs. I don't see it. So therefore, I put Ben at the bottom. And that might surprise a lot of people because I'm sure everybody thought I was going to put Cam, which is my number 3. Again, I'm not even sure he is going to be the starter on this team. If they do, in fact, go out and they get Jimmy G or anybody else that's available, he is not starting. He will get most likely cut.
The Cam hater is back again.
Hey, last year told me enough.
Okay.
And yes, I know we had a horrible team, but as of right now, I don't see an improvement on this team.
I'll give you that fact.
So either way, if there's no improvement on the team, he's not going to do anything. If Jimmy G happens to be the quarterback, he's not going to start. If he even stays on the team, he could get cut.
So he'll play basically about 10 to 12 games with Jimmy G's starting quarterback. So,
well, again, right. So, but the question isn't Jimmy G.
True point.
Number 2, I have Prescott. Put Dak at number 2 because I don't think he's going to make the playoffs. He'll put up his numbers. He's a good quarterback, but he's not going to make the playoffs. If he does, he's not going to win a game in the playoffs. I don't see Dallas doing anything, and therefore I put Watt at number 1 because I think Arizona is going to make the playoffs. I think Arizona is going to contend, probably lose to Tampa Bay, but they will contend, and he's going to bring them there. He's going to play well. Look, we all these guys are all injury prone. They're all injury prone. So I just take the injuries and wipe it out because they could all go down.
All right.
So Watt, to me, would have the most success because Arizona is the better team of the 4.
Okay. No, very good. I see that. So, well, obviously the fans will decide once they get my 4, and then we can see what the fans decide because I'm going to go and I'm going to start. My number 4, I agree with you, Ben Roethlisberger. They struggled after the 11-0 start. I still think that they've asked him to do too much unless they get a solid running game. Juju Smith Smith Schuster.
Yeah.
Try to say that fast 3 times.
Juju.
Right? They need more options for him besides Juju. So I don't feel like he's going to perform well. Number 3, I actually had Dak Prescott. So there's still some questions with the offensive line in Dallas and what they're going to be able to do. Think they're paying some of their key guys a little too much where they can't build around Dak enough. And then their defense was actually one of the worst in the league. So he's walking back into the same situation he's been walking in for years. So I don't see it's any improvement whatsoever. Number 2, J.J. Watt. And I will tell you that I agree with you on it's a much improved team. I think that Kyler Murray is going to be a superstar in this league.
I was a doubter when they first drafted him. He has impressed me.
Yeah. So I think that was a good factor. I think the fact that he's going and he's going to play with Chandler Jones, who is one of the top sack leaders as well. They're not asking J.J. Watt to be the number 1 guy anymore, which allows him to roam and be able to do some stuff that he couldn't do in Houston.
He's asking them to be a leader.
Yes.
That's what it is.
So I really feel like he's going to have a solid season. Again, injuries, barring injuries and him staying on the field, that's probably going to be the most important thing. And my number 1 pick, as usual, I'm going to stick with my guns on what I've said from the beginning. Cam Newton was the best option for the New England Patriots.
If there's anybody that hopes you are right, it is me. Despite being my opponent,
right? So
I'm a New England fan. So
I think with the contract being incentive laden, right, that gives him an opportunity to have to perform. I think that's a spark for him. And I truly believe that the New England Patriots are going to be, front runners in the free agent market and get talent around him.
I hope so.
Which he didn't have. So to my opinion, overall, how can he not be more successful? He's got the best coach in the NFL. I think we can both agree on that.
Oh, no, I do agree.
Right? He had probably the least amount of talent last season.
You're probably right.
So if Bill Belichick can get him some talent, there's no reason why this team is not a playoff team.
That's always the thing. It's a big if, And again, like there's so many factors that surround this team, because we all know he wants Jimmy G. He wants Jimmy G.
I would agree with that.
So if he does get him, that changes everything about Cam Newton. It's just not. I just don't see him being a factor. Now, are they going to get players to surround him? Well, they got an offensive tackle. They might lose one, but they gained one, and a good one.
Yeah.
They still have no receivers.
And
they have no receivers.
Absolutely.
And until that happens, the numbers won't be there.
I think ultimately we're probably a little premature with our list because if we look at it and we start to see what the free agent market does and where some of these players go, then it might change. I'm trying to revisit
this in 2 weeks.
I'm trying to be the optimist in this and say that we're going to get some.
2 weeks.
So we'll bring it back up in 2 weeks and we'll see where we're at once free agency hits. Let's
no, Tim, he's not the best.
Let's talk a little NFL. So Dak Prescott signed a record deal to stay with the Dallas Cowboys. 4 years, $160 million deal. $126 million guaranteed. His signing bonus of $66 million is the largest in NFL history.
Who's the biggest GOAT of? And I don't mean GOAT as greatest of all time. I mean GOAT, like the animal. Jerry Jones. He could have had him so much cheaper a year ago. He is an idiot. He's an idiot. Jerry Jones has completely lost his marbles. Completely.
So I looked at it this way. If we're talking regular season quarterbacks, he's not underpaid. He's 106 touchdown, 40 interception, 42 and 27. Great.
Regular season.
Great. 1 and 2 in the playoffs. And the interesting stat that I found is that the Dallas Cowboys haven't been to a championship game in 25 years.
And you know what the sad part is? That division has stunk.
Think about it.
For the majority of this time.
The Washington football team, almost said the wrong name there, right? Got to get used to that. The Washington football team, 6-10 last season and won the division. 6-10.
It's bad.
So does Dak make them better? Absolutely. Should he be the highest paid quarterback based on his regular season numbers? Yes. But if you're trying to win championships, and this move to me says that Jerry Jones is just satisfied with trying to win regular season games.
So where'd they finish last year?
I believe they were last, if not second to last. They might have been third. I think Philly was worse.
So they will beat Philly again this year. The question is, are they going to beat out Washington or New York? That is the question.
No.
So they're going to still be right where they were. So it's not going to matter.
So Jerry likes to spend some money. Sports Unfolded, we are looking for sponsors. So if you want to just throw some money this way so we can continue, Jerry, we'd appreciate that, a little bit of that money too. Because I think he said in his press conference that he overpays sometimes. So, you can overpay us. We'll be okay with that. We'll take some of Jerry Jones's money if he wants to give to us.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All right, let's talk about a couple of the former New England Patriot players. So a couple of them have been released, Kyle Van Noy and Malcolm Butler. So of the two, which player would you like them to re-sign?
Van Noy.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because they're going to need somebody they're going to need a linebacker. Like, that's imperative. I just find it hard to believe Malcolm Butler will come back.
Yeah, I don't see. So in a perfect world, I'd say Malcolm Butler is probably a better option to bring back.
Right.
I don't see it even possibly happening after the benching in the Super Bowl and how that all ended. I just can't see it. He actually had a really good season last season, 100 tackles, 14 pass defenses, 4 interceptions. So he's still a solid player. And I truly think, and Ron, again, thank you for the jersey. I still think they're going to trade Gilmore, so they're going to need a number 2, cornerback on the team.
I'm hoping not. Look. In a perfect world, I would like them to get Van Noy and Butler, and keep Gilmore, because they have the money to do it.
Yeah.
And I know your thoughts on Gilmore. Now's the time to get rid of him, But if they have Gilmore and Butler back there,
bring back Moss.
Come on.
Edwards said, I wish we could. I think he's been retired for a few years, but
he's probably still better than every receiver
at this point, right?
Combined.
Worth a tryout. Bring back Moss.
So Edward, nice to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Once again, we are on Rhode Island Broadcasting. We are also on YouTube, Facebook Live currently. We do also on Twitch. And don't forget, if you want to reach out to us, you have many options, but on Facebook and Twitter at Sports Unfolded. So really good conversations there. All right. We're going to your favorite topic. Let's talk some NHL. Let's talk some hockey. So the Bruins is struggling a little bit here, but
not last night they did.
So interesting little topic that you wanted to discuss, and it's about Ovechkin, that he's a free agent after this season. And what do you think the odds are that the Boston Bruins will make a look at him, or should they at least look at him?
They're not going to get him. Ovechkin's going to stay with Washington. Like, I would love Ovechkin to be in Boston.
So can I ask you a question? Because I was thinking about, when's the last time they had a legitimate superstar? Superstar.
They have one.
In?
Pastrnak. He led the league in goals last year.
All right. Okay.
Like, he is legitimate. He is scoring at a great pace right now.
So they don't need Ovechkin, basically.
I'm not saying that. Who doesn't need an Ovechkin? Like, he is one of the top 20 players of all time. 700 plus goals.
So we're not doing this list again.
No, but like, who wouldn't want? And he still has a couple more years. This guy can score. He's hard-nosed, lethal scorer. Like, he gets that one timer going, oh my Lord, look out. But I feel the need that we need to comment on the hit.
Okay. Yeah. With the 7-game suspension?
7-game suspension. Now, there was a lot of discussion back and forth. Oh, it was in the shoulder. The initial contact was shoulder, and he ducked down. And look, I played hockey for a lot of years. He knew exactly what he was doing. He meant to hurt him, and he just knows how to do it and make it.
And this wasn't his first
okay.
offense, which
Oh,
is,
God, no.
I mean, he's been suspended or reprimanded at least 4 or 5 times now.
Oh yeah, this guy's dangerous. He's dangerous, and he's going to end careers. And Carlo has a history of concussions. We don't know if he's ever going to come back, and that would be too bad because he is a solid defenseman. He's important to the Bruins' future.
And again, Ron's the hockey guy, and we've discussed this on several shows. But how do you not suspend this guy for more than 7 games? I think that's the biggest question. I think his last suspension was 16 games, 14 to 16 games, and he's gotten less this time, which makes no sense to me. Once you know he's a repeat offender, clearly I would assume the penalty would have gone up and not down.
And the fact of the matter is, Vrana cross-checked him when Carlo was down, right in the back of the head to add on top of it, and he is just as bad. And it was such a travesty. And I'll tell you, that team sparked up from that when Tenorti, second game on the Bruins, fought, and that team lit them up.
Maybe that's the spark they need then.
And it is.
Hopefully it carries.
And last night, they just took it to them. They took it to the Rangers, and they basically stepped on them.
The second topic we were going to discuss is GM Don Sweeney actually had stated recently in one of his press conferences that the lack of secondary scoring, and this is his words, a major concern. What's the best option for the team? Is that a trade? Is that some line changes?
This is a tough one because Jake DeBrusk sat when Don Sweeney made that comment. He sat. They lost in a shootout with again the Islanders.
0-4.
Yeah.
A little painful for you, I know.
So he came back and he played like unbelievable, like how he should be playing all the time. Krejci scored his first goal, on a line with Jake DeBrusk and Richie. It's a great line. The problem is, when does Jake DeBrusk take the day off? You know what I'm saying? Because he's not going to stay at this pace. So if he's not going to stay at this pace, the logical thing is to trade him.
Do you think the best option would be a trade?
I think they should trade DeBrusk and a pick and get a legitimate scorer.
For that second line.
And it's got to be somebody with some speed, because you don't want another guy like Richie, because that's just going to make it a slow line and it's not going to work. So they need speed.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think the fans want, let's get Don Sweeney. Let's get an interview with him. I think he needs to hear your hockey insight, because I truly think that
I would love to.
You have the best interest in the Boston Bruins out of anyone.
There's a lot of guys out there that are on bad teams, and Joel Skinner is one of them, but his price tag is $9 million. That is very steep. I don't know if the Bruins can pull off that trade. I think they could work it out, but then you'd be up against that cap. He would be a guy that I would love to have on that wing, and I don't mind giving up Jake DeBrusk for that, to take the chance, because Skinner has, I believe, 1 or 2 goals, and that's really bad for him. So he's not doing it in Buffalo, but nobody's doing it in Buffalo. So maybe he just wants out of Buffalo.
So we're gonna have to try to work on this Don Sweeney interview.
But
so we can
Frederiksen,
we can smarter him up.
Trent Frederiksen and Studnicka, I think, are going to be legitimate stars in this league, because I see how they're playing and I like it. They haven't really put it all together this year, but it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. This team is going to be solid for a few years.
So we'll see if they make a trade. If not, maybe just some shifting in the lines might help as well. We're going on to our favorite segment. So far, according to the fans out there, you're undefeated. Pretty impressive. But I think I'm going to win tonight. I'm feeling lucky. We are live here at Sports Unfolded on Rhode Island Broadcasting.
Do we even know what the segment is?
The segment is. So the face-off tonight is, with the signing of Blake Griffin, can anyone else compete in the Eastern Conference, or should they just kind of fold up and, end the season, assuming that Brooklyn's going to make the finals? So let's see if our fans want to. Who's voting for the chance that Brooklyn should just roll through, or can another team compete? Do we have any fans out there that want to chime in on who they like to vote for can compete? Is there a team in the East that can compete? See if we get any votes out there. Got a few viewers out there tonight. We appreciate it. Tim, Edward, thank you. Henry chimed in. Appreciate it. Anyone out there? All right. Let's do it this way. Let's turn it over to our producer, Kel. Kel, what do we got for who should vote for or against? Against.
Wait, does that mean I have to say that nobody's going to contend?
That they are going to contend.
They are going to contend.
Yes.
Really?
Do you want? We can switch it up.
No. It's okay.
You sure?
It's all right. It's all right.
All right. So I am for the teams folding up, and I will start off.
Yes.
All right. 1 minute on the clock. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. So
are you ready?
I am ready. So the Brooklyn Nets have proven that getting a super team is the way to go in the NBA. The Lakers have proved it by getting Anthony Davis and LeBron and building that. And we've seen it consistently now through the NBA when they got their big three. Look at Boston back in 2007 when they got their big three. This is the way the league is gone. This is why Blake Griffin chose the Nets, because he knows there's really no chance for any other Eastern Conference team to win in the NBA. So it's a lock, basically, for them to get to the finals is what he wanted anyway. So why wouldn't he? And I still think that they're going to make a couple more moves to make sure that they basically solidify it. And you really, if you're the Eastern Conference team, don't make any trades, go through this season, get through, and then make your picks next season and try to compete. And that's my time.
Very nice.
Whenever you're ready, Ron, you tell me.
Okay.
I got a victory this week. Sports Unfolded. You're going to see an upset.
I'm ready.
All right, Ron, you're on the clock.
Okay, so the formula is very simple. Take the Celtics, for instance. I think they can put it together. You already have 3 good players on this team that can play. They're going to get Smart going, and he's going to be a defensive-minded player. All you need is that one piece, that one leadership role that can change everything. And the fact that Durant is always hurt now, I mean, that's their best player. As long as you can contain those stars, to just get their stuff and not let the bench beat you. Because if their bench comes up and and those guys put points on the board, you're done. But Celtics are a team that can stop them if they get that one piece, and they're going to go out.
That's time. All right, so you basically think the Boston Celtics are the team to beat the Brooklyn Nets, which is pretty interesting. I'd love to see it. There's no way it's happening. So as you can see, we have once again completed a face-off. We're asking the fans to just, chime in, Rhode Island Broadcasting or at Sports Unfolded at Facebook and Twitter. Let us know who won. Actually, we are going to give away some prizes to some fans who have chimed in. So we got these lovely keychains that Ron makes. So if there's a particular team that you like and you cast a vote, there's a chance you can win one of these prizes. So just anytime you chime in, we'll look at it. You'll be eligible to win a prize. So great job with the debate. As usual, I won. In my own,
as usual.
In my own mind.
In your own mind.
I will never give that up. So let's move on to predictions, where I am 3-1 so far. And what we will do is we'll start with the NBA. So we got the Lakers at the Warriors, and that's on March 15th.
Lakers.
Lakers.
That's not even a question.
I'm going to agree with you. Let's go Lakers. 3-16, the Utah Jazz at Boston.
Okay, so here's where it all turns around.
Okay.
The Celtics are going to win that game, and that's going to catapult them into a winning frenzy.
Okay. So 316 is actually special to me. It's my daughter's birthday. Her name is Jasmine. So I'm going with the Jazz because it kind of fits. So I'm going with the Jazz. That's a hunch now. That's my gut talking. That's not actually a sports predict, but I like the way you're heading on the Celtics. Hopefully that does turn around their season. In the NHL on 313, the Capitals at the Flyers.
That I got to go with the Caps. Like, they just have too much scoring punch. Then the Flyers, they're a good team, but they've been up and down. So I got to go Caps.
No, Caps, I agree. I think Caps have a better record. Philly has kind of been an average team overall, so I think the Caps are starting to turn the corner there. What about 315? So March 15th, the Blackhawks at the Panthers.
Panthers.
All right. Just so I can keep my lead, I'm going to go Blackhawks. We're agreeing too much on these, so I need a couple here that.
Well, that's just going to make it easy for me.
Oh yeah, you think you're going to make some ground up? So 3-1 currently. I think I've got.
I'm going to get all those back today.
All right, let's see. So once again, we are in Rhode Island Broadcasting. We are live. You can see us on YouTube, Facebook. Reach out to us on Twitter and Facebook at Sports Unfolded. Really looked forward to hearing from our fans. We've had a great show tonight. And as usual, as we close it out, we're going to go to our final thoughts. So, Ron, if you'd like to go first this week, we'll let you go on your final thought.
I would. And it has to do with Blake Griffin. Again, we talk about this now a couple of weeks. Blake Griffin going to Brooklyn is the worst thing for basketball because all it's saying is that the league just wants a stacked team to get somebody a championship. This is exactly what the league wants. They want a team from New York to be in the championship against probably the Lakers because they're going to go out and get somebody and they're just going to basically take over the league, those two teams. And there's nothing anybody can do about it unless they go and try to get 4 or 5 stars, and that's the only option for a team to do. And it just makes me sick that teams are basically allowing this to happen. And something's got to be done. And if it's not done soon, NBA is going to be garbage if it's not there already.
Great point, Ron. Thank you. My final thoughts on Alex Smith. So Alex Smith recently was cut from the Washington football team. And for those that don't know his story, suffered a horrendous leg injury, ended up almost getting it amputated. 17 surgeries later, finally had the opportunity to start last season, got the Washington football team to the playoffs. It's such a great story. And I truly feel bad. I understand financially, and these teams are trying to make their moves and why they had to cut him. But if I'm a football team, if I'm an NFL franchise at this point,
Patriots,
I am clearly looking at this man just for his sheer heart, just for the fact that that he's leaving it all on the field, that he's going to put everything he has into making sure that he makes that football team better. He could have easily walked away from the game, but he had such passion for football and he wanted to continue to play that he basically went through such a rigorous, rehab to get back to where he needed to get. I hope some team really truly picks him up. I was thinking about, but Chicago or one of those teams that are close where he can help them win. But I honestly wish him well. I hope he gets picked up soon. What a great story. Just to see. And again, we talked about Tiger Woods in the past. So if anything's possible, he showed that, you can go through something and actually, come out of it outstanding. So Alex, good luck in your future. I hope you get picked up. So NFL free agency. So once again, thanks to the fans that have chimed in tonight. Looks like I have won most of the face-offs so far tonight, so I'm happy about that. I might get a victory finally.
Yeah, because I really believe that It's going to happen. They're going to roll.
But once again, thank you so much to Paul. Thank you, Ron, for a great show once again. And to all our fans, you have a great night.
Take care.